Hey everybody, welcome to Vegans Talking Shit. I'm Joey, and I'm flying solo today. Jon and Vanessa are on vacation, I believe, in Toronto. I'm not sure when they'll be back, but yeah, they are not here, so it's just me. Yeah, pressure's on. I've done this one time before. The episode, I believe, was titled Joey Flies Solo. So this one will be cleverly titled Joey Flies Solo Again. That last episode, I believe, was like 10 minutes long. It was very short. I'm going to try to make this one a little bit longer. And I even decorated to some extent. For those of you on video who are watching this on video, you can see some of the CGC graded comic books behind me. And, well, there are those little two tins. Action Comics #1, Detective Comics number 27. Obviously, just tins, not the original comics. That would make me a millionaire. I'm a big DC guy, so all of them are DC, though Static is a milestone imprint of DC, and I have two Vertigo books behind me. Sandman #8, which is the first appearance of Death, and Preacher #1. Yeah, so anyway, non-comic book geeks won't care at all, but for those of you who are comic book geeks, you can enjoy the view behind me. Maybe you care, maybe you don't. I don't know. So first of all, this is a Christmas episode. Christmas is 2 days away, so Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Ramadan, whatever you celebrate. Happy holidays. It's a wonderful time of the year, my favorite time of the year. And yeah, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that good stuff. So the last episode was with Rafi Newberger. The episode before that was a bit of a cliffhanger because for one thing, I talked about how I was going to see a Quentin Tarantino movie, Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, which is basically part 1 and 2 put together with a couple of editing changes and some new footage. And I was all excited and I was going to see it. And I'm still excited to see it, but I haven't seen it. I didn't see it because the theater near me, now this is a 4-hour movie, okay? It's actually more than 4 hours. I think it's more than 4.5 hours. And I am all for it. You know, if it's a movie I'm really excited about, I don't care how long it is. I mean, if you think about it, it's the same thing as when you binge something on Netflix. You know, you'll binge an entire season of Stranger Things in 1 week. I mean, I'm sorry, that's kind of pointless. You might binge it in 1 day, which is even more intense than sitting through a 4.5-hour movie in a movie theater. Okay, maybe that's not true because you can pause and all that when you're home. Okay, disregard. Anyway, look, I'm not good at this, clearly. I need Jon and Vanessa. But yeah, I did not go see it theatrically. Hopefully it'll come out on home video. But the one theater near me, they were showing it at 8 p.m. And that was the only time. You can see Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair at 8 p.m. I almost never go to the movies at night. Going to the movies at night is something I'm averse to because of the crowds and the general behavior of the people who go to movie theaters is not always to my liking. I demand absolute silence. I don't want to deal with some idiot texting and lighting up the whole theater and talking on the phone and talking to their friends. The whole movie theater experience has declined rapidly. So I don't go as often as I used to. I mean, I used to go a lot. I used to go several times a week. Those days are gone. But yeah, so I didn't see it. Hopefully, I mean, if it comes out on Blu-ray, 4K Ultra Disc, whatever, I am definitely buying it. Absolutely. But theatrically, you know, if you start at 1 o'clock, okay. 8 o'clock p.m., no, not going to happen. The other cliffhanger had to do with me picking up a kitten. Oh, okay, this is my dog, Khaleesi, English Bulldog, beautiful. Okay, girl, okay. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear her snoring. Well, she's not snoring, she's awake, but she grunts. Anyway, so, okay, a bit of a long story. When we were recording that episode, I mentioned a kitten that I had seen at Petco, and how I fell in love with this little kitten. It was so cute, so adorable. Black female kitten, and I always wanted a black female cat to name her Selena, because Catwoman, Selena Kyle. And so Jon and Vanessa kind of talked me into going to Petco after recording the episode to see if the kitten was still there, and if so, take her home, Joey. Take her home. I ended up not taking her home. It wasn't that easy. There was a sign there saying that Khaleesi, really? Go to bed. Go to bed. Khaleesi, go to bed. Go to bed. Okay, let me adjust. Sorry, folks. Yeah, so there was a sign there. I had to fill out a form online. I had to send a text message to someone who was like the head of the organization, because it wasn't Petco necessarily. Petco was, they had the kitten on display kind of on behalf of this organization. So I went online on my cell phone, filled out the form, texted the head of the organization to say, hey, I sent this form, blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't very communicative, but ultimately it didn't matter. The next day, I got a phone call from my dog's oncologist, Khaleesi's oncologist, because I don't know if I've mentioned it on the show, but my dog has cancer. Now, it is in remission, so she's great, okay? But the telephone call had to do with some proteins that were found in proteins that were, I don't know the proper grammar there, but anyway, protein was found in her urine, and so she's going to be going through a lot, and that's in addition to everything else she's going through. Just yesterday, she had to go to the veterinary ophthalmologist because she had to get new prescriptions for her eyes. She gets these eye drops, and because she has chronic dry eye, she has to go to the veterinary ophthalmologist. They check her eyes. They do some kind of a test, because she can't produce tears. She gets these prescription eye drops that help her to produce tears. Prescription ran out. I had to go to the veterinary ophthalmologist to renew the prescription. Did that. She's good. Her eyes are great. Tomorrow, I have to take Khaleesi to the vet. As I'm recording this is tomorrow. I have to take Khaleesi to the vet because of an ear infection she has. And then a week from Monday, December 29th, she has to go to the oncologist where we talk about her kidney issues. And she was given a medication, forgot the name of it, benazepril or benzenapril, I don't know. Starts with a B. And some dog food, prescription dog food. Hopefully, when she goes to the vet or the oncologist next week, the news will be good, and everything will be fine. But with all this going on, I just thought that getting a kitten was not the right time. And yeah, there's actually more stuff about Khaleesi. I'm just not going to get into it here. But yeah, like all I can tell you is right now, she's not in any pain. There's no discomfort. She's a very happy dog. She sleeps all day, sleeps all night. It's all good. And in addition to all that, my job was very, very intense over the last couple of weeks. I was working days, nights, weekends, nonstop, basically, because I had a deadline for a project that I was working on. So that would have been a very bad time to have to learn what it's like to have a kitten, because I'd never had a cat before, much less a kitten. So I would have had to do all that while dealing with poor Khaleesi's issues, and while work was making me crazy. But yeah, so that's that with that. So you know what? You see that every now and like I don't know how many of you watch these episodes on video as opposed to listening to them on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever. But if you watch it on video, you may see me shuffling cards every now and then. This is my coping mechanism. Jon and I have alluded to it. He and I both have social anxiety. I think he is a lot better at handling it and coping with it. Like if you were to see Jon out in the wild, he would be extremely friendly. He would talk to you, and he wouldn't be awkward. He has a handle on it. I do not. I am a very socially awkward guy. And yeah, like when we record this podcast, I'm practically playing a character. I have to. It's a more amplified version of me, just turned up to 11, I guess. But the person you see and hear in the podcast isn't really me. Like I said, serious social anxiety, extremely socially awkward. I have panic attacks when I'm super uncomfortable. I've learned to subdue those panic attacks and not make it obvious. But there was this holiday function, Friendsgiving luncheon at work, early November. And we had to do this thing. It's like pin the tail on the donkey, but instead it was like pin the feather on the turkey. Obviously not a real turkey with paper, just like pin the tail on the donkey. It's not an actual donkey. So this is a paper turkey. And I was volunteered to do this, and I really didn't. I feel like there were about 100 people there. And it was basically my worst nightmare as far as my social anxiety. So I was the center of attention. The spotlight was on me. All these people are looking at me. And I had to wear a blindfold, and it was terrible. All I knew is that I couldn't see anything. I literally like 100 people screaming at me, telling me where to place the tail on the turkey. And apparently, not even apparently, I missed it. Like I missed it more than anyone missed it. I was basically the worst one there. And then came the jokes and like, oh, he's vegan, so he didn't want to do anything with the turkey, whatever. So yeah, I ended up like going back to my seat. My temperature had risen, like my body temperature had risen like 10 degrees. It felt like. I was like, I had like temporary blindness. Like it's hard to explain what a panic attack is to people who've never experienced it, but it was not good. But I kept it quiet. I kept it down. I don't know if anyone noticed, but that's the shit I go through. And so in order to be able to do this podcast, I have to have my coping mechanism. I have to practically play a character where I am talkative and not awkward. And that's a lot easier said than done. It is easier to do it like, to a camera as opposed to, let's say, in a luncheon at work where there are 100 people. But yeah, and I have this deck of cards that I shuffle, and that's my coping mechanism. Yeah, so there you go. I do think that therapy is extremely important. I do have therapy, not as often as I should. The whole return to the office thing kind of ruined that for me. Back when I was working from home, I could do it during my lunch hour. But in the office, and it's a long day. I mean, it's a long commute. I'm on a bus in the morning for about an hour, and in the afternoon for about an hour and a half. So I'm away from home and not really private for about 12, 13 hours a day. And there's just no way to schedule time for therapy. And sure, I mean, yeah, maybe there are some therapists who do weekends and, at night. My therapist does not. And I'm not willing to give up my therapist, because one thing about having a therapist is that if you find one that's a good fit for you, you keep that therapist. And yeah, so it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Uh, and I think that's also, I've had to think about this, but with this podcast, because of everything going on with my dog and my job, and how, because of everything involved and the anxiety I feel, like Jon and Vanessa are on vacation. Okay. And so while they're on vacation and there are no episodes left to record, I'm in a position where, like, okay, I want to make sure that there's an episode available every week. What do I do? It's kind of on me to come up with something for the week, that Tuesday when the episode drops. I do have one episode right now that I have recorded with my friend Shane, but that requires a lot of editing, and I just didn't have the time to do all that. I mean, it was like a 2-hour conversation that I have to cut down to 30 minutes. So I didn't have the time to do that, and so I'm doing this, and I kind of just, I think I need to stop forcing myself to release an episode every week. If a week goes by and I can't post the episode, okay, we go a week without an episode. We've done it for a year, and I think we've established ourselves as pretty reliable. And I told myself that the second we stop releasing an episode every week, it'll be easier. Like the first time, it's like, okay, we're going to do it for the first time. We won't record an episode for 1 week, but then it'll be easier to do that same thing again, and then again, and then again, until you're basically not even recording episodes anymore. So I have to make sure I don't fall into that trap. But for my own mental health, I have to just calm down, not go crazy when Jon and Vanessa are on vacation and I have no episodes to post. Because they go on vacation a lot, and they should. Absolutely, they should. I wish I could. And I will. In a few weeks, I think the end of January, I will be going to Minnesota. I know it sounds crazy to go to Minnesota in January, but it's something I do every year. We don't get a lot of real winter time in South Florida. So I go to Minnesota every winter, and I have a really, really close friend there. My friend April and her crazy, adorable kids. Yeah, I love April. I love her kids. And so I go there to hang out with my friend. And yeah, it's always fun. Get to see real snow, sometimes a lot more than I really want to see. But it's never been to the point where it's like uncomfortably cold. I mean, sure, it is uncomfortably cold, but when you're only there for 4 days, it's no big deal. I don't think I could live like that, but it's fine. It's fun. I enjoy it, and I like seeing my friend April and her kids. So, okay, so let's get into some geek stuff, because I have this comic book stuff behind me. Might as well get into the geek stuff. The Supergirl trailer that came out recently. I don't know how many of you saw it. As someone who is really looking forward to the movie and absolutely loved Superman that came out in July, I was really looking forward to watching the trailer, and especially since, my God, why can't I? Jason Momoa is playing Lobo, and if there was ever a person born to play a character, that's Jason Momoa as Lobo. Lobo's a great comic book character, and Jason Momoa is literally the perfect man to play him. So I was excited to see the trailer, excited to see Jason Momoa as Lobo, but the trailer was disappointing, and that sucks. I mean, as a comic book geek, I loved it. It was cool, but it was like literally a half a second, maybe even less, of Jason Momoa as Lobo. And I think for comic book geeks, especially those who have read that comic book right there, Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow, which is a great miniseries written by Tom King. The movie is based largely on that miniseries, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And for the comic book geeks who have read it, they're like super excited. But for people who don't read comic books and don't know anything about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, they're going to see that trailer and see like, okay, I don't get it. Whatever. I'm almost positive that people who aren't comic book geeks have no reaction whatsoever to the trailer except to say like, what? You get like that glimpse of Jason Momoa as Lobo, but I think that he should be the selling point. Like, even if people don't know who Lobo is, seeing Jason Momoa is enough, I think, to get people interested. Like, I don't know if people know this, but out of all the DC movies that came out over the last decade or so, not including any of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, but the only one that crossed $1 billion worldwide was Aquaman. Aquaman was the only one that crossed $1 billion. There have been plenty of Marvel movies that crossed $1 billion. Okay, Khaleesi. But for DC, the only one that crossed $1 billion was Aquaman. So globally, Jason Momoa is a huge deal. And they should have put him way, way more in the trailer than they did. So the trailer was a bit of a disappointment, and especially for people. Okay, Khaleesi, what is going on there? My dog. Oh boy. Yeah, I just think they should have shown more of Jason Momoa, and I hope that the next trailer does. Now, James Gunn has taken over DC Studios. I mean, he's running it, and he's great. I love James Gunn. I love what he did with Superman. On HBO Max, I loved Creature Commandos. I loved season 2 of Peacemaker. I don't know how many people watched Peacemaker. Khaleesi, go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. See, told you she's in a good mood. She's kind of wanting to play right now, but this is not playtime. But you'll get to eat in a few minutes, okay? Just relax. Okay, so James Gunn is amazing. I love what he's been doing for DC Studios. Looking forward to the Lanterns TV series. I love Creature Commandos, but yeah, season 2 of Peacemaker blew my mind. Now, Peacemaker is not for kids, especially season 2, but I loved it. I think it's probably got the best show opening I've ever seen. Like, as far as, the opening credits, amazing. I loved it. I watched it every single time I watched an episode. I watched the opening credits scene, and even now, I finished watching it, a couple months ago. I finished watching season 2 a couple months ago, and even now, I'll go on YouTube and watch the opening credits just because I love it that much. The song is great. The dance is great. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm all about James Gunn and the DCU. It's just that Supergirl trailer could have been better. I just finished watching season 2 of The Last of Us. Not necessarily comic book related, I guess more video game related, but I don't really play video games. That being said, that show, I really like it. Season 2, I don't think it was good as season 1. And the ending was kind of infuriating. Like, I know it's a cliffhanger and season 3 is coming, but still, that was just, I didn't like it. And I know there's a lot of controversy right now with Netflix buying Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers owns DC and all the DC properties and HBO and all that. So this is a huge deal. Now, the big fight was between Netflix and Paramount. Who was going to buy Warner Brothers? Me personally, I didn't want either of them to buy it. I wanted Warner Brothers to stay its own. I mean, it's this legendary studio. It's, I don't know if I would call it the biggest movie studio, because I would say Disney is, but I would say Warner Brothers is the second biggest. But because they're all huge conglomerates now, or they're all bunch of different companies. Um, yeah, it's everything's different. And the thought of Paramount buying Warner Brothers disturbs me. I never liked the idea of Paramount buying Warner Brothers. Paramount does a terrible job with home video releases. I say home video, but I'm referring to obviously digital. Um, like, I'm a big proponent of physical media. I know it makes me sound like an old man, but yes, I like, Blu-rays and 4K Ultra HD discs. There will come a time when you'll be like, hey, why can't I find season 3 of Doctor Who? Well, I have season 3 of Doctor Who on Blu-ray. So if it's ever not available, I can still watch it on physical media. Also, I like all the geeky stuff it comes with. I love the director commentaries and the deleted scenes and the gag reels and all that good stuff. Huge fan of all that. So, yeah, Paramount just doesn't do that. And I think that Paramount, I'll only say that I think that Netflix allows their creators to create. I think that CBS, they have an agenda, and Netflix's agenda is more let artists be artists. And sure, sometimes they'll cancel a show when it shouldn't be canceled. Blows my mind that I don't get to watch Mindhunter season 3. Oh, Mindhunter was such a great show. But yeah, between the two, I would much rather Netflix by Warner Brothers than Paramount. But it's done. That's it. Apparently, it's done. That's it. Like, I think there's some stuff that has to happen in order for it to be approved and this and that. Hopefully it gets approved. One of the perks I feel is that everything that's on HBO Max right now, all the Warner Brothers stuff, all the HBO stuff, the DC stuff, all of it's going to go to Netflix. And I think that's pretty awesome. Put everything in one streaming service. I assume that's going to happen. I could be completely wrong. I really don't know. I don't have the inside scoop or anything. That's just my assumption. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, this is close to a half an hour. I don't think I talked about veganism once. Sorry, folks. Jon and Vanessa might not like that very much. But we can, I don't really want to tackle a topic without them. That's, so for something like this, yeah, it's better to, okay, I'll say something vegan. Let me see. I really like what was the new product that I had the other day? Oh, it's not new. It's not new. It's the Impossible breakfast sausage. They're breakfast sausage patties. My favorite used to be the Beyond breakfast sausage patties, but now it's Impossible breakfast sausage patties. So that is my contribution to the vegan part of the show. Yeah, sorry. I know that's lame, but whatever. So this is the Christmas episode. I'm wearing my funky Santa hat that I bought at Five Below for $5.99, I believe. And I guess I should make something Christmassy. Or say something Christmassy. I should say something Christmas. Well, I did, right? In the beginning, I said Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Ramadan, blah, blah, blah. Okay, a Christmas wish. I have a Christmas wish. And as silly as it may sound, I wish everyone would be kind. Be kind. And I know that sounds lame, and I'm sure that there are some alpha male douchebags will say that it sounds weak or lame or whatever. But no, be kind. I mean, and look, I fail all the time. I strive to be kind, and I've mentioned it before, and usually it's in the context of being vegan and activism, and I Jon and Vanessa and I, we've had plenty of discussions about this, and I prefer to be kind and understanding. But again, I fail all the time. Just a couple days ago at work, there's a guy I work with, really good dude. I was not in a good mood that morning. There was a lot going on, and he said something innocuous, completely benign. He meant nothing by it, and I snapped at him. And I was very unkind in that moment. And I went back to my desk and I stewed a bit, and then I thought about it, and then I realized, yeah, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. And I wanted to tell him why, because for me, the right thing to do is to walk up to that person and explain why I snapped at him. But because we're back in the office, if I were to do that, everyone would hear me. And my reason was something I didn't want to get around. So I went on Microsoft Teams, that chatting app, whatever. So I sent him an instant message saying, dude, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you. And I got into why. And because he's a great guy, he was very gracious about it, said, dude, I get it. I understand, blah, blah, blah. Good dude. But that's it. Squashed. He and I are really good now. In fact, the very next day, we were at a bar. I mean, it was a work thing. We were at a bar. Not getting drunk or anything, people. Relax. I wasn't getting drunk at work. But it was like a happy hour work thing. Anyway, so yes, I'm here saying be kind, but we are all going to fail. But if you fail, own up to it. And if you see people not being kind, well, I don't know if you need to confront them about it, but you know what? I'm just going to say it. We have a president of the United States who is not a kind man. And sure, some of you are going to say, oh, don't be political, blah, blah, blah. But that's not political. Come on. I'm not talking about policy or taxes or even whatever hot button topic people are talking about. This is purely about whether or not he's a kind person. And he's not a kind person. And if you deny that, then you're just deflecting. You don't want to admit to yourself that this person you voted for, this guy you support, is unkind. But yes, he's an unkind person. And I think that that's made it to where a lot of people feel like it's okay to be unkind. Like, there are so many videos out now, Karen videos and entitled Karen. I wish there were a male equivalent. Maybe there is, and I just don't know the word. Saying male Karen seems wrong, but it's not limited. Oh, Jesus, Khaleesi, go to bed. Khaleesi, go to bed. My dog's going crazy. But yeah, it's not limited to women. There are male Karens or whatever name we're calling them. And it's gotten bad. There's this sense of entitlement that people have. And I do think that the fact that we have this extraordinarily unkind person in the White House is part of the reason. Yeah, sorry. That is not a political statement. That is just a fact. And I'm really confused by Christians. Christians will be the first to agree with me on being kind, love thy neighbor, all that. But for some of them, it's okay to not be kind, I guess. Even if the Bible says be kind. I'm going to see something that I've saved. Okay. Leviticus 19:33-34. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you are foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord, your God. Yet somehow, I mean, I feel very strongly about the immigration thing. I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but I do feel that immigrants make America great. And sure, you want to deport criminals? Great. That's not what's happening. And Christians, many Christians, not all, but many Christians are okay with what's happening. Unkindness is being applauded. It's sad. So my Christmas wish is to be kind and spread that kindness. And hopefully everyone will be kind. I know that's very idealistic and you might say foolish, but that is my Christmas wish. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I have a feeling I've pissed off a whole lot of people, but whatever. We'll be back next week, perhaps with Jon and Vanessa telling me that I should never go solo again. So for Vegans Talking Shit, I'm Joey, and I'm out of here. Merry Christmas. And yeah, be kind. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.